testimony. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Today we have the honor to invite St. Bhagavatamrta Narasimha Maharaja 为我们讲解今天的大佛教法坛早课。敬请聆听。今天是2021年5月18日，星期二。Hare Krishna。
Hare Krishna. So we were speaking about Lord Krishna's pastimes. They were being described to us by Gop Kumar, a cowherd boy from Govardhan.
我们一直在聆听主 Krishna 的逍遥时光。这些逍遥时光呢，是高尔丹山的一个牧牛童叫 Gop Kumar， 他一直描述着的。
So he was telling about how Akrura came to Vrindavan and brought Krishna to Mathura.
前段时间呢，就讲到了Akrura 把 Krishna 从 Vrindavan 带到了 Mathura。
And we heard how it was very painful for the people of Vrindavan for Krishna to leave them.
Vrindavan 的居民因为Krishna 离开了他们，所以他们陷入了痛苦的漩涡当中。
And Nanda Maharaj had gone to Mathura with Krishna, but he had to go back on his own.
Nanda Maharaj 和 Krishna 一起去了 Mathura， 但是最后他不得不在没有 Krishna 的情况下，孤零零的回到了 Vrindavan。
So this was the people of Vrindavan, they don't even like to think about Krishna leaving them.
Vrindavan 的居民呢，他们也特别一点也不想回忆起 Krishna 离开他们的这段时光。
When Krishna's with the people of Vrindavan, they don't think anything. They completely forget about the past, and they never think about the future.
Krishna 和 Vrindavan 的居民在一起的时间 ，Vrindavan 的居民是从来也不考虑过去，也从来不憧憬未来。
So Gop Kumar describes on another occasion, Akrura came back to Vrindavan on his chariot, and he came back just like he'd never been there before.
Kumar 接下来描述说，有另一次 ，Akrura 又驾驶着他的战车，又回到了 Vrindavan。就这一次呢，就好像他从来没来过一样。
Yeah, on the order of Kamsa, Akrura came to bring Krishna to Mathura.
在 Kamsa 的命令之下 ，Akrura 就前来把 Krishna 带到了 Mathura。
So everybody's so bewildered by the influence of the Goloka atmosphere that nobody could remember that this was not the first time Akrura had arrived in Vrindavan.
Vrindavan 的每一个人呢，都被狗哭了的氛围所困惑，所以他们已经记不起来，这已经不是 Akrura 第一次来 Vrindavan 的。
And even Akrura couldn't remember he'd come there before.
甚至连 Akrura 自己也记不起来，他曾经来过 Vrindavan。
So he took away the life of Vrindavan, and its residents went into that same state of feeling separation from Krishna.
所以再一次呢，Vrindavan 的居民们，他们又被统治于同样的这种处境当中了。
And again Krishna went to Mathura, and again he killed Kamsa.
库尔这次又去了马图尔，然后他又把康斯杀了一遍。
And again he came back to Vrindavan, and he continued before to enjoy his pastimes.
然后 Krishna 又返回了文达文，然后他又像从前一样，在文达文享受了他自己的逍遥。
So Krishna again and again goes to the city of Kamsa, Mathura.
所以 Krishna 是一而再再而三的去康萨的都城马图拉。
And again he comes back to Vrindavan to have his pastimes with the people of Vrindavan.
然后他又反反复复的又回到了文达文，和那里的居民一起享受他的逍遥。
So Krishna and Krishna also he dances on the hoods of Kaliya again and again.
而且 Krishna 呢，他是反反复复的，就是在卡利亚蛇的头棚上就大跳他的舞蹈。
And again and again he will lift up Govardhan Hill.
而且他反反复复的就举起了勾尔丹山。
And so this way Krishna performs his wonderful pastimes over and over again.
Krishna 就是这样，他就是重复的上演着他自己的逍遥。
And in this way he pleases the heart of his devotees.
Krishna 以这种方式取悦了他奉献者的内心。
So we should understand all of Krishna's pastimes, beginning with the killing of Putana, are eternal.
我们要明白的一点是，从 Krishna 杀死普坦纳的消时光开始，所有这消时光都是永恒的。
And Krishna enjoys them with all the devotees in Goloka, just as often as they like.
Krishna 和他的狗库拉文达文的奉献者们一起享受着这些的消时光，就是只要他们喜欢，他就会重复的跟他们一起享受着这些逍遥。
But each time the pastime is repeated, it's like they never did it before. It's like a new pastime.
每一次呢，这些消时光就像他们从来没有发生过一样。
And we may wonder, how could Krishna perform these pastimes again and again? He already did it one time. He's doing it again.
人们可能感到奇怪，这些消时光以前都发生过，他们如何又是再次发生的呢？
And how is it possible demons like Putana could be killed again and again?
而且呢，普丹纳恶魔这个女巫，她怎么会被重复的杀死呢？
We have to understand Krishna's pastimes are transcendental.
所以需要明白的是 ，Krishna 的消时光，它可是超然的呀。
And they're meant to attract all of his devotees.
这些消时光的目的是为了吸引他的奉献者。
Some devotees are his eternal companions, and some are new devotees.
有些奉献者是他永恒的同伴，还有的呢是最近刚刚加入的。
So even the new devotees, they will feel so much love for Krishna when they hear his pastimes.
甚至这些新奉献者，每当听到 Krishna 的消时光，都会内心涌起爱意。
Just by hearing these pastimes, then devotee will remember in their heart about Krishna's activities.
仅仅是聆听这些消时光，奉献者就会在内心回忆起 Krishna 的活动。
And when the devotees meditate on these pastimes, then they'll get very special happiness.
每当奉献者们冥想这些逍遥时光，内心就会感到由衷的快乐。
And so Krishna's pastimes fill the heart of even the neophyte devotee.
所以 Krishna 的逍遥时光甚至充盈了新奉献者的心意。
And those who are Krishna's eternal devotees, they taste a very special sweetness that nobody knows except them.
而 Krishna 那些永恒的奉献者，他们内心品尝到的这种特殊的甜美之情，是不为外人所知的。
But for the people of Vrindavan, they're bewildered due to their intense love for Krishna.
但是稳达文的居民们，由于他们对 Krishna 这种强烈的爱意，所以他们会感到困惑。
It's like a kind of poison, a special poison that they could never think of any of the events that ever took place before.
就好像他们被一种特殊的毒药发挥了药效一样，所以他们已经想不起来曾经发生过这些逍遥时光了。
The people of Vrindavan, they're not even aware that these pastimes have been repeated.
稳达文的居民们，他们甚至没有意识到这些逍遥时光曾经以前已经重复过了。
They just feel so much attraction, so much involvement in the pastime. They never think about anything which happened before.
他们已经被深深的吸引了，而且他们已经全身心的投入进去，他们根本就没意识到以前曾经发生过。
This is the highest state of Krishna Prem.
这是 Krishna Prema 最崇高的境界。
So the power of their love for Krishna, it continually grows. And it grows sometimes when they're with Krishna and also when they're in separation from Krishna. Their love for Krishna will grow more and more.
他们的这种爱的力量会持续的增加，不管是他们和 Krishna 在一起也好，或者分开也罢。他们对 Krishna 的爱是越来越增加的。
So this is true for the people of Vrindavan who are living there eternally.
所以对于那些居住在那里的稳达文的居民，这一切都是千真万确的。
And Gopkumar, who's telling about this, he said, even a newcomer like me, I can hardly remember the things which happened in the past.
所以当勾巴库马尔他讲述这一切的时候，他说，就是甚至对像我这样的新来的人，我都已经几乎记不起来以前曾经发生过的事情了。
Because devotional service is so transcendental, the devotees can't think about anything which happened in the past.
因为奉献服务他们是超然的属性，所以呢，奉献者们他们已经回忆不起来以前的事情。
Yeah, some devotees like they were conditioned souls, but they've just become pure devotees, and so they're beginning to do service for Krishna in the spiritual world. So they're like new devotees.
有一些奉献者，他们是以前是受条件限制的灵魂，但是后来他们变成了纯粹奉献者，开始从事奉献服务。然后他们在灵性世界，他们这些新奉献者也是受到欢迎的。
So the Brijbasi people, they're always in the ocean. They're always in this ocean made by the rivers of this sweetness of love for Krishna.
Brihad 的居民们，他们总是沉浸在就是由对 Krishna 的爱所构成的这个河流汇成的 成了这种大海当中，沉浸在这大海里。
And because they have this pure love, they become like mad people.
因为他们对 Krishna 的内心这种纯爱，所以他们就像疯子一样。
And the most wonderful thing is that the most enlightened person is Krishna himself.
而最奇妙的一点是，就是内心最受到激励的，竟然是 Krishna 本人。
And Krishna is in the ocean of love for his devotees.
而且 Krishna 是淹没在对他的奉献者的爱之中。
And he cannot remember what he's done and what he's going to do.
他甚至记不起他做了些什么，以及他将要做什么。
So we would think, somebody has the love of God, they must have perfect knowledge.
我们可能以为，一个对 Krishna 怀着神爱的人，他们是拥有完美的知识的。
So how could they forget about the things which they've done?
他们怎么可能忘记他们曾经做过的事呢？
So somebody who has love of God, they know everything. They know it's natural that they will know everything.
一个拥有神爱的人，自然而然的，他们是知道一切的。
But because they have love of God, so what they know is not necessarily what we think they need to know.
但是因为他们怀着神爱，所以他们知道的和我们觉得，他们需要知道的，这是两码事儿。
When somebody has love of God, then what they understand is knowledge, and what is ignorance is different from what we think is knowledge and what is ignorance.
一个怀着神爱的人，他们对于知识和愚昧的理解，和我们对于知识和愚昧的理解是有着天壤之别的。
So because of Yoga Maya, Krishna forgets what he did before.
因为 Yoga Maya 的能量，所以 Krishna 忘记了他之前的做过的事儿。
But sometimes he will remember. If it helps the pastime, then Krishna will remember what he's done.
但有的时候他也会想起来，如果这些是有助于他上演逍遥时光的话，他有时候也会记起来。
So Krishna's pastimes are eternal and totally spiritual, and eternal, full of eternity, knowledge and bliss.
Krishna 的逍遥时光是永恒的，是灵性的，它是永恒的，充满知识，还充满极乐的。
So these pastimes attract us to the Lord's lotus feet to engage in devotional service.
这些逍遥时光深深地吸引着我们，把我们吸引到 Krishna 的莲花足下，从事于对他的奉爱服务。
We want to follow Krishna everywhere.
无论 Krishna 想去哪里，我们都想要追随着他。
And we want to provide whatever's necessary for each of the pastimes.
我们也希望为 Krishna 上演每个逍遥时光提供一切的必需品。
So Krishna's Leela is the display of Krishna's internal energy. It's all Krishna's internal energy.
Krishna 的逍遥时光都是他内在能量的展示。
So it's not different from Krishna.
跟 Krishna Krishna 本人没有区别。
And there's also transcendental variety.
那里也有超然的多样性。
So there's never any defect in Krishna's Leela.
Krishna 消时光从来没有任何缺陷。
Even when Krishna's behaving like an ordinary person.
即便 Krishna 的行为举止就好像是普通常人。
Just like when the ladies in Vrindavan, they complained to Mother Yashoda about Krishna.
就像文达文的女士们，有时候会向 Krishna 母亲亚收的投诉。
Yeah, when Krishna is caught, maybe doing some naughty things, then the master of the house will catch him and say, "Oh, you are a thief."
就像当有时候 Krishna 淘气就被当场抓住的时候，被房子的主人抓住的时候，这主人就会对 Krishna 说：“哦，你可是个贼呀！”
And they'll pretend to be angry at Krishna.
而且他们还假装对 Krishna 生气。
But Krishna will reply to them, "I am not a thief, you are a thief."
Krishna 会反唇相讥：“我不是贼，你才是贼呢。”
Sometimes Krishna will get angry himself, and then he will pass urine and stool he'll find a nice, clean, tidy place, and he'll pass urine and stool in our houses.
有时候 Krishna 自己也生气了，他就会特意找一个房间里一个整整齐齐的、干干净净的好地方，在那里拉屎撒尿。
But then they see that Krishna, although he's such an expert thief, he sits before Mother Yashoda like he's a very good boy.
人们看到 Krishna 他虽然是一个最精湛的小偷，可是他坐在他妈妈的怀中的时候，就像一个乖宝宝一样。
And sometimes all the gopis would look at Krishna sitting there, and they'd see Krishna, he'd be sitting looking afraid, like he was afraid, so that his mother was going to punish him.
狗皮们看到 Krishna 坐在他妈妈的怀中，就好像他害怕他妈妈惩罚他一样。
So when the gopis saw Krishna like that, they were so attracted by Krishna's beautiful face that they stopped complaining about him.
当狗皮牧牛姑娘们看到 Krishna 的这种坐姿坐相的时候，他们就被他美丽的莲花脸吸引了，就忘记了来投诉他。
And they would just simply look at his face and enjoy transcendental bliss.
他们就这样一动不动的、目不转睛的凝视着他美丽的脸，然后沉浸在超然的喜乐中。
And so Mother Yashoda would smile about this, and
亚瑟的妈妈呢，对此就会发出由衷的会心的微笑。
And she wouldn't want to do anything to Krishna. She wouldn't want to punish him.
亚瑟的妈妈可不想来惩罚他自己的宝贝儿子。
So Krishna's pastimes are attracted. Krishna's pastimes, it's their desire that Krishna's pastime Krishna's lotus feet are attracted by his pastimes.
Krishna 的莲花足就被 Krishna 的消时光所吸引了。
and they're attracted by the service attitude of his devotees.
他们也被他奉献者的服务心态所吸引。
So Krishna's pastimes are just simply Krishna imitating the activities of human beings.
Krishna 的消时光就是 Krishna 在模仿人类的活动。
So Gopkumar's telling all this to this other Brahmana, and he said, I've told you about Goloka's special pastimes.
Gopkumar 此时此刻呢，正在给另外一位婆罗门讲述这一切。他说，Goloka 的消时光是特殊的消时光。
So these pastimes are very sweet and is compared to a flowing river.
这些消时光非常的甜美，就像一条流淌的河流。
So the Brahmana said, the Brahmana who's with Gopkumar, he said, you know, for a long time I've been looking to satisfy the desires.
这位 Brahmana 就对Gopkumar说，长久以来呢，我一直在寻找着满足愿望。
He said, hearing about you, that you had so many desires in your heart, and finally you got to Krishna's abode.
我听了你讲述这一切，你内心也是有着种种的愿望。最后呢，你终于到 Krishna 的居所。
So now Krishna's gone to Mathura. Where are you going to stay, and how will you live?
现在 Krishna 去了马祖了，你会待在哪里？你如何生活呢？
Because Gopkumar had the desire, he wanted to see Lord Gopal, and he wanted to join in the pastimes of Lord Gopal.
因为 Gopkumar 的愿望是去看 Gopal， 去加入 Gopal 的逍遥。
So now Gopkumar has reached Goloka Vrindavan.
现在 Gopkumar 他到达了 Goloka Vrindavan，
But Krishna left Vrindavan to go to Mathura.
可是 Krishna 却离开了 Vrindavan， 前往马祖了。
So how can Gopkumar tolerate to live in Vrindavan?
Gopkumar 怎么能够忍受留在 Vrindavan 呢？
Yeah, because Gopkumar is attached to living in the village, in the countryside. And Krishna performed his pastimes in the village, in the countryside. So how can he even think about going to Mathura?
因为 Gopkumar 十分的依附村庄和乡下的生活，所以现在 Krishna 去了马祖了，他怎么能够忍受离开这种村庄呢？
So Gopkumar says, by the order of Krishna, I and all the devotees, like me, we still live in Vrindavan.
Gopkumar 说，就是在 Krishna 的命令之下，我和所有像我一样的奉献者仍然居住在 Vrindavan。
We live in the company of people like Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd men who have the same mood as ours.
在南达 Maharaj 和其他牧牛郎的陪伴之下，我们所有的人都是在同样的心态之下居住在那里生活的。
So when Krishna was leaving Vrindavan, he gave special instructions to the new devotees who had come there to be with him.
当 Krishna 离开文达文之际，他就给予那些来到文达文和他一起在那里居住的人留下了特殊的指示。
They had all the devotees, these new devotees, they had all had spontaneous love for Krishna.
所有这些新奉献者们都对 Krishna 怀着自发的爱。
So they were doing what's called Raganuga sadhana.
他们从事的是 Raganuga sadhana。
So Krishna told them to stay in Vrindavan and continue to associate with people like Nanda Maharaj.
Krishna 就告诉他们，继续留在文达文，和 Nanda Maharaj 这样的牧牛郎联谊。
Because Nanda Maharaj's way of practicing bhakti yoga was similar to their own practice.
因为 Nanda Maharaj 修习的 bhakti 奉爱和他们的是很类似的。
If the new devotees were to go to Mathura, then it would disturb their mood.
倘若这些新奉献者去了马出的话，这就会打扰到他们的心态了。
It would stop their spiritual advancement.
就会令他们的灵性进步，就会阻止他们的灵性进步。
It is said, if an intelligent person wants to see his family prosper, he should stay with his own people.
有一句话就说，倘若一个智者希望看到他的家族繁荣昌盛的话，他应当和他自己的家人就生活在一起。
So this is the nature of Goloka, Krishna's world.
这就是 Goloka 的本质，是 Krishna 的世界的本质。
Even when Krishna leaves, the residents want to stay. No one wants to go anywhere else.
即便 Krishna 离开了，那里的居民们也希望留在那里，哪里都不想去。
There may appear to be moments when people are very when people are very unhappy, but that is another special kind of happiness.
有些时刻就好像那里的人们显得是闷闷不乐的，但实际上这是他们在品尝得到一种特殊的快乐。
And the pain, when they experience different pains, like when Krishna leaves, this is another kind of bliss.
Krishna 离开他们之际，他们内心的痛苦，实际上是他们品尝到的另一种极乐而已。
The anxiety which the people of Goloka feel, it's another special kind of spiritual ecstasy.
Goloka 的居民们，他们的焦虑，实际上是他们体验到的另一种灵性的极乐而已。
So this is the nature of the special love for Krishna, found only in Goloka.
所以这就是对 Krishna 的特殊的爱的本质，而这种本质呢，是只有在 Goloka 才能找到的。
So Gopkumar said, because this was my desire, so I stay here. I don't want to go anywhere else.
所以 Gopkumar 就说到， 因为这是我的愿望，所以我就留在了这里，我也没有去别的地方。
In my heart, I can appreciate the endless perfection of life.
在我的内心，我能够欣赏到，生命的这种无穷无尽的快乐。
And the nature of life here is such, I never feel like I've had enough. I never become tired of it.
而在这里的生活的本性就是，我内心从来没有觉得已经足够了，我从来没有感到厌倦。
So I can never give up Krishna's lotus feet.
我永远也无法放弃 Krishna 的莲花指。
I can never stop using my mind and body and senses, not even for a moment. I have to use them all for the service of Krishna.
从来没有片刻的时间，停止运用我的心意、躯体、感官，我每时每刻都在用它们来做服务。
Although I'm a very fallen person, I'm very unqualified, but Krishna has given me special favor, his special mercy.
尽管我是堕落的、没有资格的 ，Krishna 仍然给予我特殊的仁慈。
The mercy, or other people can never hope to get this, the mercy which I got.
我所得到的这一切的，仁慈和恩宠，是别人，甚至没法指望得到的。
So Gopkumar said, I've told you about all this. He said, it's very confidential. He said, they should not be told to others.
Gopkumar 就说，我所告诉你的这一切都是机密的，你不应当去告诉别人。
Actually, Sanatana Goswami explained, Sanatana Goswami, he wrote this book, he explained that Srimati Radharani personally ordered Gopkumar to enlighten this Brahmana about Krishna, about these pastimes.
Sanatana Goswami 就写道，实际上是 Srimati Radharani 本人亲自命令了 Gopkumar 来启迪这位 Brahmana， 来启迪他有关于 Krishna 的小说。
So Gopkumar says, after staying for some time in Goloka, I realized that this place is not, that I realized that Vrindavan, Mathura and Vrindavan in the material world are not different from Goloka.
Gopkumar 说，就在 Goloka 居住了一些时间之后，我意识到地球上的 Vrindavan、Mathura 和那里和灵境世界的没有区别。
Right, Goloka is in the spiritual world, and Gokula is in the material world.
灵性世界的 Goloka 以及物质世界的 Gokula。
So these two places are identical.
这两个地方是一模一样的。
So just like a jnani, he can understand the Brahman, so he can understand the spirit soul.
就像一位 jnani， 一位思辨家，他可以明白，他了解放的人可以明白灵魂。
So in the same way, anybody who understands Goloka they will also understand Gokula to be not different.
所以同样的，一位明白 Goloka 的，也能够理解 Gokula， 他们都是同样的。
So impersonal Brahman, the impersonal Brahman cannot be known to somebody who has not trained the mind.
所以非人格的 Brahman， 非人的幻，对于一位没有心意没有受过训练的人，他不能理解非人格的 Brahman。
So for the benefit of the neophyte Jnanis, the Upanishad only talk about Brahman as Tat. They will only say that, Tat, that.
为了一位新的 Jnani 新的思问家的好处，我看你说的奥运书中就说到了 Tat， 那。
So they want to, because people are not so familiar with the language, so they don't want to confuse them about Brahman. They're not ready to understand the Brahman.
所以为了不困惑那些不熟悉这个语言的这种语言的人，所以他们就不要困惑他们有关于这个 Brahman。
So just like in Goloka, there's many kinds of very divine gopas and gopis and cows. So also in Gokula, it's the same.
就像在 Goloka 有许许多多神圣的Gopa， 就牧牛童、牧牛姑娘，同样的在 Gokula 也是一样的，有许许多多的神圣的牧牛郎、牧牛姑娘。
And the other animals and the birds and the insects, the mountains, they're all divine, they're all very special.
各种各类的动物、鸟类、昆虫、山脉，它们都是神圣的，都是特殊的。
And the rivers and the trees, all kinds of creatures, they're all not ordinary creatures, they're very special creatures.
那里的河流、树木、生物都不是普通的，都是特殊的。
So Goloka and Gokula, they're just like each other, they're just the same.
Gokula 和 Goloka， 他们彼此很相似，就几乎是一模一样。
So somebody, in one place somebody may be playing a role, he's playing a part. So he may be
在一个地方，
they may be different from those in the other place.
在一个地方，一个人可能会扮演一种角色，那可能跟他在另外一个地方，就是不一样。
But their purpose in Krishna's pastimes is the same.
但是他们在 Krishna 的消逝光当中的目的是一样的。
Gokula's, the cowherd men and women of Gokula are all, they're all people of the holy, they're all people of they're all inhabitants of the holy Dham.
Gokula 的男人、女人，他们都是圣地的居民。
And they're just like the people in the spiritual world.
他们就像灵性世界的
And the same with the trees and the creepers and the plants. They're just like the creepers and the plants and the trees in the spiritual world.
同样的，那树木、爬藤、植物，就像灵性世界的树木、爬藤和植物。
So Gopkumar says, sometimes I stay here in this material world, and sometimes I go to the Goloka in the spiritual world. I don't see any difference between the two places.
勾画库马尔说，有的时候呢，我就待在这个物质世界，有的时候我就去了灵性世界 Goloka， 我看不出有什么不同。
But in the beginning, before he could understand that, he was making a great effort to try to go there, to Goloka.
但是在一开始，在他能够明白之前呢，他是努力的要去 Goloka。
So traveling from one place to the other, back and forth, it seems that that you would think there must be some difference.
他之前从一个地方旅行到另外一个地方，就来来回回的，他心里想，一定会有某一些区别。
But Gopkumar said, I'm so attached to both the places, I don't notice any difference.
但勾画库尔说，我深深的依附这两个地方，现在我看不出来有什么区别，我没有什么区别。
Because Gopkumar is he's moving from the earth planet. The earth planet Gokula is on the earth planet, and it's in the middle of the universe, in the material world.
因为勾画库尔，他原先是居住在地球上的Gokula，地球是在整个宇宙的中间。
And Goloka is the topmost planet in the spiritual world.
Goloka 可是灵性世界的最高的领域。
But Gopkumar said, I don't see any difference.
但是勾画库尔现在说，我看不出来他们二者有什么区别。
And he says that for him to go there, to go to these places, it's no more trouble. It's just like a farmer. He walks from his house, he walks to his field. It's like that. It's no trouble at all.
勾画库尔说，但是现在对于他来说，去这两个地方，在这两个地方旅行，对他来说没有什么麻烦，就好像一个农民从他的家房子去田里一样，这没有什么麻烦的。
He said, my hearing or my seeing or even my mind, it doesn't touch any other, it only touches these two places, nowhere else.
勾画库尔说，无论是我聆听的和我看到的，以及我的心意，只触碰这两个地方，别的地方丝毫不会去触碰的。
Gopkumar doesn't care about anything else. He only thinks about Gokula and Goloka.
勾画库尔他对任何别的事物都不在乎，他只在乎Gokula和Goloka。
And he said, in my heart, I could never think that Krishna's devotees could live anywhere else except these two places.
他说，在我的内心，我看到 Krishna 的奉献者们，除了这两个地方，他们不可能居住在别的地方了。
So Gopkumar is talking only about Krishna, the original personality of Godhead. He's not talking about any of his expansions like Vasudeva, who's in Dwarka.
沟哈库马尔谈论的是 Krishna 最原始的至尊性格属神，他并没有谈论他的扩展 Vasudeva 在 Dwarka 的扩展 Vasudeva。
He said, sometimes I may see people from Vaikuntha, or sometimes people from other places, but to my eyes, they appear to be suffering from separation from Krishna.
沟哈库马尔说，有时候我会遇见Vaikuntha或者别的地方的居民们，但是在我的眼里看来，他们好像就在忍受着跟 Krishna 的分离之苦。
So this is the vision of a person on the topmost level of devotion.
这就是一个处在奉爱服务最高层面的人的他的视力。
Yeah, one who is a Paramahamsa, he will see everyone as if they are also in the same mode as him.
一位 Paramahamsa， 一位至尊的天鹅，他觉得别人都和他处在同样的心态之下。
So even he meets devotees who come from Dwarka or Ayodhya or Vaikuntha, but he thinks of them in relation to his own feeling to Vrindavan.
这样一位至尊天鹅遇见Dwarka、Ayodhya 或者Vaikuntha的居民，他就会想到这些人都和他有同样的就是Vrindavan的感受。
And so this way Gopkumar remains always satisfied in the glories of Goloka.
就这样，沟哈库马尔总是心满意足地沉浸在 Goloka 的荣耀当中。
He doesn't see, in these other devotees, he doesn't see anything except the mood of Vrindavan.
除了Vrindavan的心态之外，他看不见有别的心态。
But if he does see something which is not like Vrindavan, then he'll be very disappointed.
但是如果他确实眼里看到了，不像Vrindavan的别的事物的话，他就会感到非常的失望。
But when that happens, I feel more love for Krishna.
但是每当发生这样的事情，他就会对 Krishna 涌起更多的爱。
And when my disappointment gives me it results in my great happiness.
他说：“我的这种失望就反而带给我更多的快乐和幸福感。”
So devotees from outside of Vrindavan, they're also blissful, they're eternally blissful, although they're not in Vrindavan.
所以，在Vrindavan之外的别的奉献者，虽然他们不在Vrindavan，但是他们也是极乐的。
Yeah, even though they don't have direct company with Krishna, they're still happy.
虽然他们并没有直接和 Krishna 作伴，但是他们仍然是快乐的。
So Gopkumar wonders, how could they be happy without being in Vrindavan?
沟哈库马尔就纳闷儿，他们不在Vrindavan，他们怎么快乐的起来呢？
And so that increases Gopkumar's own love for Krishna. He appreciates how fortunate he is.
这反而增加了沟哈库马尔对 Krishna 的热爱， 他感觉自己是太幸运了。
So even when he's passing through Vaikuntha or the material world, he'll be happy.
所以，即便他要经过外昆塔，经过物质世界，他仍然内心是快乐着的。
And Gopkumar said, what can I say about Goloka? Its residents are all honored by people everywhere. They're so wonderful.
沟帕库马尔说：“对于狗罗卡的居民们，我能说什么呢？
People all
每
over,
个地方的人
people
都
all
在
over,
荣耀的。
people all over the world, they glorify the people of Vrindavan.
全世界的人们都在荣耀文达文的居民。
And so he said, to all the people who live with Krishna in that abode in Goloka, I offer my obeisances.
他说：“对于那些在狗洛克和 Krishna 一起生活着的人们，我向他们致以我前进的顶爱。”
And so that Goloka is the highest place in the spiritual world.
狗洛克是灵性世界最高的领域，
And the highest thing is to have pure love for the lotus feet of Krishna.
最高的事物呢，就是对 Krishna 的莲花足怀着奉爱。
And hearing and talking about Krishna's pastimes in Goloka and in Gokula are that's the best way to use our time for anybody.
聆听以及谈论，狗洛卡 Krishna 在狗洛卡的时光，是任何人度过他们时光的最好的方式。
So when we hear about these pastimes, then we should also want to offer our respects to these very fortunate people who live there in Goloka and Gokula.
每当我们聆听到这样的消时光的时候，我们应当对居住在狗洛克和狗库拉的那些幸运的人致以前进的顶礼。
And just simply by hearing them, then we're showing proper respect, and we're honoring their love for Krishna.
仅仅是聆听了他们的这些事迹，聆听了他们的这些笑容，我们就是在荣耀着他们对 Krishna 这种奉爱。
Okay, so that's the end of that chapter. We're going to go on next time to the last chapter, which is called The Bliss of the Worlds.
所以本章就到此结束。下节课我们聆听这部书的最后一章，名字叫《世界的极乐》。
Okay, so we'll ask, is there some questions?
好，接下来我们来回答今天的问题。我们看一下第一个问题是Vilasini Dasi Hare Krishna 顶拜咕噜甜美的莲花族顶拜聚会的奉献者，请教咕噜，我昨天做了一个荣耀主你身上显念日的视频，介绍了唱诵主你身上的 mantra。我今天早上在念诵的时候，强烈的感受到主 Krishna 的名在，请教咕噜，是不是只要叫 Krishna 的名字，或者圣恩 Prabhupada 的名字，是不是他们都立刻临在了？这是不是最大的神秘点？叫咕噜 Krishna 的名字，他们即刻就临在了，看着我做的一切。 小心的去做事。我这样的心态理解对吗？感恩姑的仁慈，谢谢你。This Christian is from Chandra Vilasini. She said her Krishna listens to Guru's lotus feet, listens to all assembled devotees. Yesterday, I made a video about the appearance day of Lord Nrsimha. I introduced the chanting of Nrsimha mantra. This morning when I doing japa, I had a strong sense of that Lord Krishna is the presence of Lord Krishna. So my question is that, Guru, is it that by calling Krishna's name or His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's name, they will be presence? Is this the great mystical mysticism? Is this the greatest mysticism? So this is the first question.
Yes, when you call the name of Srila Prabhupada or call the name of Krishna, Krishna is present in his name. Yes.
是的，倘若你呼唤 Krishna 的名字，呼唤 Srila Prabhupada 的名字呢？因为他们就是临在他们的圣名当中，是的，他们就临在了。
Yes, this is mystical, how Krishna can be in his name. But it's true, Krishna is in his name. Just like when we call your name, Chandra Vilasini, so we get your attention. You respond to your name. So Krishna, Prabhupada, they also respond to their name.
所以这个确实是最大的神秘点，但是这是千真万确的。他们的名字怎么呢？就是一模一样的，他们和他们的名字是一样的，就像我们呼唤你的名字 Chandra Vilasini， 你立刻就注意到了，并且你立刻就回应对你名字的呼唤。所以Srila Prabhupada和圣主 Krishna 他们也会回应对他们名字的呼唤。
But there is quality in calling somebody's name.
但是，当我们呼唤一个人的名字的时候，这个其中还是有品质的区别的。
Just like you may say the name of your child, when your child does something wrong, you may call their name, but you call their name in an angry mood.
就好像你的儿子他做了错事儿，你可能就很生气的来叫他们的名字。
So you're calling the name, but you're not calling it with love.
所以那个时候呢，你确实是在叫他们的名字，但那时候你并不是怀着爱来叫他们。
So we want to call Krishna's name and Prabhupada's name, we want to call the name with pure love.
所以我们可是希望怀着纯爱来呼唤 Krishna 的名字，呼唤Srila Prabhupada 的名字。
Yeah. What's the other part of the question?
She continued with that when we call the name of Guru and Krishna, immediately they are present and they are seeing, they are watching what we are doing. So we should be very careful. Is this understanding right, or is this smooth, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, this is correct. Definitely.
是的，肯定的，确实是这样的。
They're watching. You're calling their name, so they're watching you. They're seeing, what do you want? Why are you calling my name?
你呼唤他们的名字，立刻就引起他们的注意力了。他们就在注视着，你要什么？你为什么要叫我的名字呢？
So you have to be careful, conscious.
所以你就要小心了，你就要有知觉了。
Krishna's watching you, Prabhupada's watching you.
Krishna 此时此刻就在注视着你，Srila Prabhupada 就在注视着你。
There's a story about one devotee in South India. Now this one devotee, he was very poor, and his job was to take care of sheep. So people didn't think he was a very important devotee.
有个故事是关于南印度一位奉献者的故事，他的工作呢不是很重要，他的工作是放羊，所以人们就不把他当回事儿。
So it happened, you know, he took a guru, and the guru understood that this man who takes care of the sheep is actually a very advanced devotee.
这位奉献者后来他接受了一位咕噜，但是他的咕噜明白，这位门徒可是一个很进步的门徒。
So he wanted to show his disciples that this man, although he just takes care of sheep, he's a very special devotee. So he gave all of them, he gave them each a banana, and he told them all, he said, I want you to go some place where nobody's watching you, where nobody sees you, and eat your banana.
这位姑呢就想向他其他的门徒来展示这位放羊的奉献者他的特殊地位，他就告诉他的门徒说：“我现在呢给你们每一个人发一个香蕉，你们就去找一个没人的僻静的地方，没人看着你们地方吃下这根香蕉。”
So, next day they all came back and everybody had eaten their banana except this one man who was taking care of the sheep.
So the Guru said that I will give you each a banana and you eat that banana, right?
The Guru told them to go and eat your banana, but eat it in a place where nobody can see you, where nobody's watching. So the next day they came back, everyone had eaten their banana except for the one man who was taking care of the sheep. He still had his banana.
Oh, okay. 所以这个公路呢，他就跟他其他的所有门徒说：“我现在给你们一根香蕉，你们要找一个没人的地方，没人看见你的地方，把这根香蕉吃掉。然后第二天早上呢，所有的门徒呢就都回来了就给告他们就都把这根香蕉吃了，除了这个放羊的这个门徒，只有他们没吃。”
So Guru asked him, he said, why didn't you eat your banana?
这咕噜就问，你为什么没有吃呢？
And the man said, the man who takes care of the sheep, he said, wherever I went, he said, I could always feel the Lord is watching me.
这个放羊的奉献者说，无论我走到哪里，我都感觉到主就在关照着我，注视着我。
So this showed he was a very special devotee.
这个事情呢，就证明了他是特殊的奉献者。
So we should also understand the Lord is watching us.
所以我们也应该明白，主就在关注着我们。
Especially when you're calling His name.
尤其是当你在呼唤他的名字的时候。
Okay. How you wanting, ma?
还有。下一个问题是 Puchpasara 来自顶拜咕噜的莲花族顶拜方顶拜所有的奉献者，請問為什麼厲害的血落到地上，地球將會遭受災難呢？感恩。So obeisance to Guru's lotus feet and all devotees. My question is that why when the blood of Lord Nitai fell on the ground, the earth will have calamity, suffer calamity when the blood of Lord Nityananda falls on the ground.
Because it's a great offense to strike Lord Nityananda and to draw blood from his head. So because you've offended such a great personality, so it will bring disaster on the whole planet.
因为这是个冒犯，打主尼天安娜的头，把他的头打破，打出血来，然后血掉在地上，这是对美人的冒犯。就由于这个冒犯，整个的星球呢都会要遭受灾难。
Yeah.
下一个 Shruti Rupa Devdasi said, Hare Krishna 顶拜 Guru 老师们，今天有几个问题，感恩 Guru 的无限仁慈。一，如果灵性世界是永恒的，是否那里没有时间、空间的限制呢？So there are 7 question marks. Should I read all or one?
No, read one at a time.
Okay, so first she asked that the spiritual world is eternal, so there is no limitation of time and space in spiritual world.
Yes. No limitation of time and space in the spiritual world. That's right.
确实如此，灵性世界是永恒的，然后灵性世界是没有时间也没有空间的限制。
But there's the impression of time.
但是灵性世界呢，有那个时间的印象。
Because Krishna wants to enjoy his pastimes, and so there's the impression of time.
因为 Krishna 呢想要享受到消时光，所以呢就有一种时间的印象。
Just like Krishna goes out every morning, take the cows to the forest of Vrindavan, and he'll come back at night.
就像 Krishna 呢，每天早上去森林去放牛，到晚上呢他又回来了。
And in the night, Krishna likes to go to dance Rasa Leela with the gopis.
到了晚上夜里 ，Krishna 喜欢跟 Gopi 牧牛姑娘跳 Rasa 之舞。
So Krishna has different pastimes at different times of the day.
Krishna 是在一天不同的时间段上演不同的消时光。
And this is all for Krishna's pleasure.
每一件事情都是为了 Krishna 的快乐欢喜。
If there's no time, then there's no pleasure. You don't have. There's no pleasure, there's no waking up, there's no going to sleep. You know, it's just all the same time. There's no time, so there's no change. So it becomes very boring.
如果是就是单调的一成不变的时间的话，那就没什么快乐可言了，也就不需要去醒来，也不需要睡觉，什么都是一样的。
So Krishna enjoys
就没有时间。
in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there's variety for Krishna's pleasure.
如果什么都是单调的、一成不变，那就令人厌倦了。但是 Krishna 他可是享受的，他灵世界它是有多样化的。
This is different from Buddhism. In Buddhism, everything is one, or everything is just Buddha. There's only the Buddha. Everybody is Buddha.
这跟佛教不一样。佛教呢，就是人人都成佛了，什么都是一，都是一。
So there's no relationships.
所以在那里头，那里头是没有什么关系的。
You don't have any. You don't talk to people. You don't have any friends because everybody is the Buddha. I'm Buddha. You're Buddha. Nothing to say. Nothing to be done.
不需要说话，你也不需要有朋友，因为每个人都是佛，你不用说话，不用做事儿。
So no variety.
没有什么种类，没有什么丰富多样性。
So stop everything, just sit down, meditate, don't do anything.
一切都停止，就坐下来那里冥想。
So it becomes very boring for people.
最终呢，人们就会感到厌倦了。
But you can see in Krishna consciousness, there's so many activity, there's so much variety.
但是在 Krishna 智觉当中，你可以看到这里头，你的活动的种类太多了，有这么多的。
And Krishna's enjoying relationships with his devotees.
Krishna 和他的不同的奉献者是享受各种各样的关系。
Yeah, 下一个问题。
下一个是 Guru 所讲的逍遥故事，是一直在上演的吗？So the lila, the pastime you are narrating, is it performed always, continuously?
Yes.
确实是。
Well, it's performed again and again. It's not that it goes on all the time, but it's done, and then there will be a stop, and then after some time, maybe done again.
所以这个消失光呢是重复的，它上演一段时间，然后完了停止，然后它又再次上演。
We heard Krishna again and again will pick up Govardhan Hill. It's not that he picks up Govardhan Hill and puts it down, and then he picks it up again, and then puts it down, and then picks it up again, that he's always picking up Govardhan Hill. It's not like that. But there will be certain times he will pick it up, he'll put it down, and then after some other after a break, then he'll come, after some time he'll come and he may pick up the hill again.
不是说 Krishna 就开始举高人山，然后把高人山又放下，然后呢他又开始举高人山，然后又把它放下，不是这样的，而是在某一个特定时间 ，Krishna 就举起高人山，然后他放下了高人山，然后之后停顿一段时间，他又来再次举起高人山，然后放下。
Okay, 下一个问题。
下一个，在地球上的文达文是一样的吗 ？Is it the same in Boma Vrindavan?
Yes. But in Boma Vrindavan, Krishna is unmanifest. He's not manifest all the time. In Goloka, he's always manifest. But in Boma Vrindavan, on Vrindavan on the earth planet, he's manifest sometimes, not all the time.
但是在地球上的 Krishna， 他不总是展示的，他是不展示的，他展示一段时间，他不是他是在某些时间展示的。第二个，作为佛教徒，为什么一听到 Krishna 之觉就满心欢喜，马上每天念16圈，如饥似渴，聆听 Krishna 的故事？请问这是前世有得到 Guru 启迪的可能吗 ？So as a Buddhist, why once here listening about the Krishna consciousness will be very happy in heart and immediately take up chanting 16 rounds and listen to the pastime of Krishna very earnestly. So is it that this person was initiated by Guru in the past?
May have been. Maybe.
可能
Possible. Yeah.
有可能。
Maybe they had connection with, but we have to see that are they going to maintain Krishna consciousness?
我们要看他们能不能就是一直保持着他们的 Krishna 知觉。
Now that they've taken up Krishna consciousness, they've begun chanting, they have to keep chanting.
而且虽然他们开始念诵，但是他们得需要一直持续不断的念诵下去。
Yes, but possibly.
She asked
yeah, they asked what?
请问过去生世启迪的灵导师是不是跟今生是同一个人呢 ？Is it that the guru who initiated us in the past will be the same initiating Diksha guru?
Not necessarily.
不一定。
But, yeah, but I do. The guru from the past can arrange for somebody else to go and give them initiation.
在前世启迪咕噜可以安排来世别人来给我们启迪。
And when you become perfect in Krishna consciousness, when you go back to Krishna, you don't need your guru.
当你在 Krishna 知觉当中已经完美了，回到 Krishna 的身边的时候，你就不需要 guru 了。
But you still keep a relationship with the guru. You still respect him.
但是你跟 guru 之间还是有某种关系的，你对这位 guru 是满怀敬意的。
You see the guru as a friend.
你会把 guru 视作朋友关系。
Yeah.
听了那么多 guru 的讲课，阅读圣典，似乎 Krishna 不需要我们太多拼命苦修学习，更喜欢和奉献者玩耍。请问 guru 应该怎么才吸引 Krishna 和我们一起玩呢？是不是就这样玩耍可以回归灵性世界呢？ So, after listening so many lectures from Guru and reading the scriptures, it seems that Krishna doesn't need us to be to doing so much tapasya or so much learning. He seems to like to play with devotees more. So, Guru, how can we attract Krishna to play with us? Is it by playing we can go back to the spiritual world like this?
Well, we have to develop our devotion for Krishna.
我们是需要发展对 Krishna 的奉爱之情的。
So it's not just playing for Krishna, but when we do our austerities, we can also do austerities for Krishna.
不是说光只要跟 Krishna 玩就可以，我们做苦行的时候是为了 Krishna 在做苦行。
Just like we read about Prishni and Sutapa. Prishni and Sutapa, they wanted to have Krishna as their child. So to get Krishna as their child, they did great austerities for a long time.
就像 Krishna 和 Sutapa， 他们希望有 Krishna 做他们的儿子，所以他们就做很长时间的苦修。
We have to learn to control our mind and senses before we can go and play with Krishna.
在我们去和 Krishna 一起玩耍之前，首先我们要学习控制感官和心意。
Krishna does not just take anybody to play with him. He takes only special people who are very pure.
Krishna 不会随随便便的就和任何人玩耍，他只会和那些内心纯洁的人、特殊的人一起玩耍。
Just like all of the cowherd boys who were playing with Krishna, they'd all perform pious activities over many lifetimes to become Krishna's friends.
和 Krishna 在一起的那些牧牛童们，他们生生世世从事了虔诚活动之后，才得以做 Krishna 的朋友。
So it's important for us to develop love for Krishna, and to develop love for Krishna, we have to do things like sometimes do some austerity.
所以重要的是要发展起对 Krishna 的奉爱之情。为了发展起这种奉爱呢，有的时候我们不得不去从事一些苦行。
Our austerity is strictly following 4 regulative principles.
我们的苦行是严格的遵守4项规范原则。
And chanting every day at least 16 rounds.
每一天至少念诵16圈。
And then we do austerity on the holy days, like the appearance day of Lord Krishna and his different incarnations.
我们也会在不同的神圣的日子里，做苦行，比如说 Krishna 的显现日或 Krishna 不同化身的显现日。
And of course, on the Ekadasi, we don't eat any grains.
在以他的喜那天，我们也不食任何谷物。
So, whatever we do, whatever austerities we perform, we should do it for Krishna.
无论我们做什么苦行，都是为了 Krishna 而做的。
We want to develop love for Krishna.
从而我们希望发展对 Krishna 的奉爱。
Then when we love Krishna, when we have pure love for Krishna, then we can play with Krishna.
当我们热爱 Krishna， 当我们对 Krishna 怀着纯粹的爱的时候，就可以跟 Krishna 一起玩耍了。The next is， 第4个问题，还有一个最近得到启迪的奉献者说，他最近因为吃了非奉献者烹饪素食，可能食物中胡椒粉太多，他嗓子发炎，几天不能说话。昨晚做了噩梦，吓得他赶紧聆听快乐的泉源，聆听到天亮，请 Guru 给予他一些训示吧。There's a new devotee who has been initiated recently. She had eaten some vegetarian, some meals, vegetarian meals that cooked by non-devotees, because there are so much pepper in the meal. She had some salt. The pains of the salt cannot speak for several days. Even yesterday night, she even had some nightmares. So please Guru give, and she is so scared, and she began to listen the Lord Krishna, the happiness, the source of happiness, for the whole night until the early morning. So Guru, please quickly give her some instructions.
What did she do? She ate something with salt?
She ate something that cooked by non-devotees, and there are so many maybe black pepper, too many black pepper, and cooked by a non-devotee, even it is vegetarian. Even it is.
So you have to be very careful. You don't want to eat food cooked by non-devotees.
所以你要很小心了，不要吃非奉献者做的食物了。
Yeah, you eat food cooked by non-devotees. You don't know what kind of food you get, what's happening. What you get karma by eating food cooked by non-devotees.
因为你不知道他们会往里头放什么，而且呢，因为吃非奉献者做的呢，会遭致业报。
In China, we have the saying that disease comes from the mouth.
中国谚语说到了“病从口入
So you have to be very careful what you put in your mouth. ”，
你要小心把什么样的食物放到口中。
If it's not prasadam, then you just have to say thank you. Sorry, or just leave it, let somebody else take it.
如果不是 prasadam， 您就要彬彬有礼的回答说非常感谢，但是很抱歉，然后就把它不要吃，给别人。
Yeah. So, when you eat something like that, which is not so pure and it affects you, then you have to do more chanting. You have to take shelter of the holy name and pray to Krishna to relieve you of the reactions of eating food cooked by a non-devotee.
所以这个对奉献者已经造成了一些影响，他应该做更多的念诵，托庇圣名，并且向 Krishna 祈祷，祈求 Krishna 解除他的反应，然后吃非奉献者做的食物带来的反应。
Yeah. 下一个问题。
The next one. Yes, Mara.
Go ahead.
下一个问题来自于潘彻他的吧 Prabhu。顶拜 Maharaj 和所有奉献者，温达文的一切都是纯粹的。圣 Prabhupada 在美国传播 Krishna 的这些运动，他说他仍然在温达文。如何理解他的这种看法 ？Obeisance to Maharaj and all devotees. So everything in Vrindavan is pure. When Srila Prabhupada went to America to spread Krishna consciousness movement, he said that he is still in Vrindavan. So how to understand it?
Well, this is the vision. This is the Paramahansa devotee. That wherever they go, they take the mood of Vrindavan with them.
这是一位 Paramahansa 至尊天鹅的侍女。无论他去哪里，他都把 Krishna 他把 Vrindavan 也带到那里。
Just like we were hearing today about Gopkumar, he says sometimes he may go to Vaikuntha or Dwarka or Ayodhya, but he's always thinking about Goloka and Gokula.
就今天我们在讲课当中听到 Gopal Kumar 说，有时候他会去 Vaikuntha。去 Dwarka 或者 Ayodhya， 但是他内心时时刻刻的思念着 Gokula 和 Goloka。
People who live in Vrindavan, they become attached to Vrindavan. They don't want to see anything else, any place separate from Vrindavan.
Vrindavan 的居民们，他们内心是对 Vrindavan 有着深深的依恋，无论去哪里，他们就也不想看到那个地方和 Vrindavan 有什么区别。
So Gopkumar, we heard, when he met people, he would think that these people are missing Vrindavan. They're feeling separation from Krishna because they're not in Vrindavan.
Gopal Kumar 呢，他见到人。别的地方的人，他就在想，哎呀，这些人们，他们一定是特别的想念着Vrindavan，他们一定是在感受着和 Krishna 分离不清，因为他们现在身处在Vrindavan之外。
So this is the topmost level of devotional service, Paramahamsa, that they see everywhere as Vrindavan, and they see everyone as a devotee of Vrindavan.
这是奉献服务的最高的层面，就是他们蒙萨至尊天国的层面。无论他们到哪里，他们看到的都是伟大的；无论他们见到谁，他们都见到的是伟大的奉献者。
They think they're suffering because they're not in Vrindavan.
而且他们就在受苦，因为不在文达文，所以他们感受到煎熬。
OK， 还有问题吗？
还有好几个。下一个是真真，对，Hare Krishna顶拜 Guru 甜美莲花组顶拜聚会的奉献，请问 Guru 对非奉献者可以向 Krishna 祈祷吗？ So 真真。
Yes， 非奉献者可以祈祷 Krishna。
可以，非奉献可以向 Krishna 祈祷。下一个 ，Next one。Yeah。下一个来自 Novel 5，顶拜 Guru 的莲花组。睡觉梦见灵导师，是灵导师在梦中显现吗？
灵性老师在梦中显现呢？ Well, yes, when you dream about the spiritual master, it's said that is real.
据说，梦见灵导师那就是真实的了。
So you should take it very seriously.
那你就要把这个在梦中的这个无论说的是什么，就当真了。
Maybe spiritual master's trying to tell you something.
也许灵导师呢，就是通过这个梦境呢，要给你一些什么教导、指示。下一个，李勇 ，Hare Krishna 顶拜Guru的莲花组，顶拜所有奉献者。我的问题是，现在印度疫情严重，有些印度修行瑜伽中心全力以赴帮助周边居民，像这样的团体，在国内发起的募捐，可以去募捐吗？ So Hare Krishna, since the Guru's lotus feet and all, because my question is that because the seriousness of the pandemic in India, some yoga center in India, they are trying to help the neighbors. Some groups are raising funds for these activities. So can we participate and to donate?
We should donate for Krishna conscious programs, not for any other programs.
我们要为 Krishna 募捐，我们应该把钱给 Krishna 知觉的活动，而不是其他的活动。
So we have programs here in India. We're doing many things to help the poor people and to help people during the disaster. During this pandemic situation, we're doing a lot of food distribution, and we're having also some hospital facilities and offering medical treatment. So we need support. So you can donate for that.
我们在印度，我们也在帮助这边的灾民，我们给他们提供食物，提供医疗设施，提供医疗服务。我们也需要支持，所以您可以把捐款放在这个项目上。
And this is approved. This is authorized by all the leaders in ISKCON.
这个活动，这个项目呢，是得到了 ISKCON 国际 Krishna 知觉协会所有领导的权威的授权的。
But if you give your money to some other yoga society, they don't distribute Krishna prasadam.
如果你是把钱捐给了其他的瑜伽协会，他们派发的食物不是 Krishna prasadam.
And if there's some Mayavadi or impersonal yoga society, then you also end up becoming a Mayavadi and an impersonalist.
如果呢，他们是玛雅瓦底假象宗非人格的协会，那最终呢， 您也会成为假象中非人格主义者。
But if you donate for Krishna's devotees to help Krishna's devotees, it will help you to get more bhakti.
如果您帮助的是 Krishna 的奉献者，那最后呢，您会得到您的 Krishna Bhakti 对 Krishna 的奉爱会增加，会更增强。
Yes. Okay.
下一个 SD Hare Krishna 顶拜 Guru 甜美莲花组顶拜奉献者们，请问 Guru 主你身上显现供奉照片怎么沐浴呢？也像 Vyasa Puja 一样程序吗？念哪些祷文？
Okay, so how to give the picture of Lord Nrsimhadev a bath? Well, you can
Yes.
you can bathe the mirror reflection. You get a mirror and you reflect the picture in a mirror, and you can pour the water or pour the substances for the abhishek on the reflection in the mirror.
您可以找一面镜子，干净的镜子，然后用这面镜子对着主你身上 Dave 的这个照片，然后就so base the mirror, right?
Yeah.
Directly base the mirror. 那你就给这个镜子，因为这个镜子它现在是照着主你身上 Dave 的照片，所以您就直接给这个镜子做 abhishek 沐浴。
Yes. Dear Bhupan, Guan Yu Vyasa Puja, what mantra to chant when you do the bathing?
Is it the same procedure as the Vyasa Puja?
Yes.
是的，就像 Vyasa Puja 一样。And what mantra? Which mantras to chant?
Hare Krishna mantra.
就念 Hare Krishna mantra 就好了。
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
How you want to?
Yes. Is there? This is from Yaj. Is there really no difference at all between Goloka and Gokula? Goloka 和 Gokula 真的一点区别都没有吗？
No, I said the one difference is that in Goloka, Krishna is always present, but in Gokula, Krishna is sometimes present. Sometimes he's manifest, sometimes not.
我们说了，在 Goloka Krishna 是永远的都在那里显现的，在 Gokula Krishna 在某些时间显现，有些时间是不展示的。下一个 SD 抛花也和 Guru Puja 祷文一样吗？ The Pushpanjali is it the same as the Vyasa Puja for Guru?
Well, Pushpanjali, we don't usually do Pushpanjali, but you can offer flowers if you want to Lord Nrsimhadev, but you don't usually. We just bathe in the Nrsimha deity. The important part of the function is to describe the pastimes of the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev.
我们一般就是没有 Pushpanjali 就抛花给你主你身上，就给他沐浴就好了。最重要的庆典的最重要的部分，实际上是要描述主你身上 Dave 显现的这个消时光。下一个。
Yeah.
Yaj, why Krishna would repeat the same pastime if he can manifest unlimited different pastimes? 为什么 Krishna 要重复同样消时光？因为 Krishna 本来是可以展示无穷无尽别的不同种类的消时光。
Because some pastimes bring him very special pleasure, and he likes the pleasure of that particular pastime.
因为某些消时光特别能给 Krishna 带来快乐，他特别喜欢那些特殊的消时光。
And it also shows the transcendental nature of Krishna's pastimes.
也展示出 Krishna 消时光的这种超然的本质。
And it shows that these pastimes they're not boring for Krishna, but the pleasure is increasing. The more he performs it, the more pleasure he gets.
这展示了 Krishna 消时光，它不是令人厌倦的，它会给 Krishna 带来越来越多的快乐。下一个是 Sukita Sangha Devadasi， 顶拜 Guru， 感恩主持，请问 Guru， 我们现在的视域是物质的，看到的 Vrindavan 应该跟灵性视域看到的 Vrindavan 不一样，感恩 Guru。Sukita Sangha Maharaja said that obeying to Guru, our vision is material, so the Vrindavan in our vision should be different from the spiritual vision of Vrindavan, right?
Yes.
是的，不一样。
We're not really seeing Vrindavan because we're using the material eyes to see.
我们并没有看见 Vrindavan， 因为我们是在用肉眼在去观察 Vrindavan。
You have to see Vrindavan through the eye of knowledge.
你需要用知识的慧眼去观察 Vrindavan。
Just like when you look at Krishna, you look at the deity of Krishna, you're using your material eyes. You cannot understand Krishna by the material eyes.
就像我们在觐见神像的时候，如果我们是用这个物质的肉眼去看的话，是不能够明白 Krishna 的。
We have to see with the eye of knowledge.
我们是需要用知识的慧眼去看神像，看 Krishna。
Means you have to see through the scriptures.
也就是说，我们要透过经典去看。
So we have to purify our consciousness.
所以我们要净化知觉。
Prabhupada would say, you do not go to Vrindavan just by buying a ticket to go there.
是的 Prabhupada 曾经说过，不要仅仅就是通过买张机票就去了 Vrindavan。
You have to change the consciousness.
你需要改变自己的知觉。
Okay.
下一个是静心瑜伽，顶拜 Guru 与所有的奉献者。请问 Guru， 如果奉献者身体不好，需要口服药物，需要注意什么呢？Obeisance to Guru and all devotees. If there is some problem with the health, we need to take some medicine. So, are there any prohibition? What should we take care of if we take the medicine?
Well, you don't want to take anything which has got animal products in it.
这时候口服药物呢，不应该有任何动物的成分。
You have to take medicine, all right? Take medicine, but you make sure you get medicine which has not got animal parts in it.
吃药是没问题的，但是要确保就是不要掺杂了动物的成分。The last one.
Yeah?
The last one from Sumukhi Radha Devadasi 顶拜 Guru Maharaj 奉献者们，请问第三只眼和灵性视域有何区别？Obeisance to Guru Maharaj, devotees. What's the difference between the third eye and spiritual vision.
The third eye. Well, the third eye is described. Lord Shiva has 3 eyes. The third eye, from the third eye there is it fire comes from the third eye of Lord Shiva? I can't remember now. Anyway, spiritual vision is to see through the eyes of the scriptures.
主 Shiva 有第3只眼，然后就是灵性的视域呢，是透过经典去观察。
Yeah, Lord Shiva has 3 eyes, and the third eye, sometimes fire will come out from that third eye.
主 Shiva 它长着3只眼，然后呢，就透过主 Shiva 的第3只眼，就会有火焰从它的第3只眼中喷射出来。
But sometimes knowledge can come also from the third eye.
但是有的时候，知识也可以从第3只眼中出来。
So when we say we have to see with spiritual vision, means we have to see according to the scriptures.
就是当我们说应该用灵性的视域去看的时候，这个意思是我们要根据经典去看。
Just like when we go to see the deities, we should understand the deity is none different, is actually Krishna himself. It's not just a representation of Krishna, but it's Krishna personally manifest there as a deity.
就像我们去看神像的时候，我们要明白，这个神像不是 Krishna 的代表，而是 Krishna 本人亲自就展现为神像了。
And similarly, when we chant the holy name, we should understand that the holy name is not simply Krishna's name, but it is Krishna directly in the form of the holy name.
同样的，我们唱诵圣名的时候，要明白，这 Krishna 的名字和 Krishna 本人是一模一样的，是 Krishna 直接展现为圣名的形象。
Krishna is his name.
Krishna 就是他的名字。
So spiritual vision is to understand in that way, guided by spiritual knowledge.
所以要以这种方式来理解灵性的视域，是在灵性知识的指导之下去看。
So we have to be guided by spiritual knowledge.
我们需要被灵性知识，接受灵性知识的指导。
All right. Any other questions?
The host said that we keep the question for next time, and today's question will be end here.
How many questions are still there?
They don't raise questions anymore now.
Oh. Okay. So then we'll stop. So, 我们感谢 Guru Mani Mataji 给我们精彩的翻译，感谢 Amy 主持，我们感谢感谢所有的奉献者聆听，感谢你们，祝福你们生活快乐，长寿快乐，万事如意，传教顺利，Srila Prabhupada ki。 Go back to...
Thank you,
Thank you, Guru Mani. Hare Krishna.